Today we find ourselves in Springfield, Massachusetts, the Gate of Heaven Cemetery. This is a cemetery that is made in a garden style, and we're going to show some of the very important features up close. So we're going to do a little bit on each little important item. So on this side of a chapel mausoleum, you actually find a calabarium, which is a location where they can pull these stones off. Inside are little urns to hold the ashes of a deceased member in the family. And then in the outside stone, they put the name and year of birth and death. Now, they varied up so much that this is the single side. This is the double, also on this side, the double side. If you went to the back, that's where they put the whole burial of the person in a coffin right into the mausoleum. Mausoleum's definition is above ground burial of the whole person. So this calabarium back is mausoleum. Inside there's both also. So in this door right here, there's very big panels, and inside there are deceased people buried in full coffin, full body. So it varies as you go inside and outside of what you have. Incredible. They've modeled this after one that's in St. Michael's Cemetery of Springfield. The reason why they started this, the Catholic Diocese of Springfield, is because they're running out of space at St. Michael's, and they started up this cemetery. So we're going to show you all the features in the cemetery. Up this road right here, there happens to be the Gate of Heaven. Right, and there's a nice fence around the entirety. Also in the distance is a brick building with column fronts. That's the administration building. And then on this green right here are the flat stone burials, and they needed some vertical elements, and so they put three with statues and with text, like the first one on the left here. We see it to be St. Joseph. The one on the second is to St. Mary. Now, there's a large one in the middle that has words such as valor and love. Okay, so they're trying to have some vertical elements inside of a flat area. Now, next thing we're showing you, there's a statue against the woods over there on that little tiny uprise. It's hard to see from here, but I'll be going over there. And in front of it is a memorial stone from Knights of Columbus that says, "To the unborn children," that is the abortion victims of the Springfield Diocese. But that area has about 40 infant burials where the child was born and died the day he was born and was never baptized. So that's the non-baptized section. It's quite gorgeous because it has all these flat stones for the child, and since they died the day they were born, they have this one date. And in back of that, there's a nice little statue. Okay, and then as we sweep over this side, we see that over here we have a priest circle, and the priests of the diocese that wanted to be buried in the cemetery are buried right here. The statue of the Pieta, the Mary and Jesus, is in front, and the cross in back. But all the rest are priests that wanted to be buried in the cemetery. Now, if you look down here, it looks like a golf course. This was bought out by the Catholic Diocese. They're going to have burials in here for, 100 or 200 more years. Right? They get enough space. It's only somewhat prepared. They're going to do a lot more. It's a garden-style cemetery. Now, I'm going to show you more. So, what do you want to learn?
So, can you show us about the pre-circle?
Pre-circle, and plus the little baby. I'll go over there too. And I'm going to give you a tree. I'm going to go into the back of a mausoleum and show you what I mean by that. All right, so there's a lot to show you. And make sure you catch part one of this where we had to drive around the cemetery. Now in the back here, you have these large panels, and these panels are to put a whole coffin inside of here. This is for Amelia and Giovanni Silvestri. They're probably still alive, but they have a double one. All right, so the whole body we put into a casket and put into that cabinet. Now, if you look inside the doors of this, you'll see inside there's also the same thing. So they're maximizing space in this wonderful cemetery. Okay, Golden Jubilee, 1925-1975, in loving memory of Bishop Thomas O'Leary. All right. And then back here, what do you have? You have the priests of the diocese that wanted to be buried here, including brothers and reverends. All right, so there's a lot to see. This one here is for the Reverend Norbert Dorsey. All right, he was auxiliary bishop of Miami, Florida, and Bishop of Orlando, Florida, for about 18 years total. And then in the back, many more reverends, brothers. Okay, and then one more back row. So priests must love this beautiful cemetery, and so it's great to be buried here. Okay, so one more thing to show you. You see in this green area all those statues I told you about upright, but in the distance, about 100 feet away from us, is a statue. I think that's St. Vincent de Paul, who was the patron saint of young children. And it's also a memorial here for the unborn children. And we're going to look at the flat stones for the babies that were never baptized. They are nicely taken care of in this cemetery and are with their own space, their own flat stone that's the name and the death date. Okay, for instance, there's one right there, Cara Ann O'Shea, 1999. And there's another one here. Okay, there's very many. Anthony Galtimiano, and they keep going up this hillside for you. There's one to a Tiffany. Here's one for our Laura, 2021. Okay, and here's the St. Vincent de Paul. And here's a memorial stone area. In memory of the unborn, I will never forget you. Behold, I have inscribed you in the palm of my hand. Okay, so you're getting a great look at this area, and I'll give you a panoramic to finish off. And thank you very much.